Welcome back to the Horus Heresy and the Siege of Terra. It's 3,000 points of Iron Warriors versus Mechanicum. Deep below the Gorgon Bar, just outside the inner circle of the palace, this shield generator room is thrumming away a massive area, 1,000 feet underground. And a warsmith of the Iron Warriors has broken in down here and wants to wreck and wants to ruin this place. And we are playing Dominion. So that's the one where you're trying to hold on to various objectives. You're trying to secure this battle grid. There are 5 objectives that have been identified across this battle grid, and you get a point for every single one that you control at the start of your turn. There's one just outside the deployment zone there, one just outside the deployment zone there, and then you rack up the points as the game goes along. And then at the end of the game, there's also D3 points for killing more and D3 points for killing the warlord. So we're both trying to slaughter each other while also locking down this battle grid. And it's a very interesting table set up for you because the line of sight down this end it's really obscured. It's quite dense. But over here, it's quite open. It's going to be quite a kill fest on this side. And welcome back to the channel, Steve Not Rob. Say hi, Steve Not Rob.
Hi, Steve Not Rob.
Tell me about the Iron Warriors. Last time you were here, you didn't have Iron Warriors. Now all of a sudden...
So 6 weeks later, I've managed to paint 3,000 points of Iron Warriors.
Okay.
The 4th Legion.
Why?
Because I'm crazy and I like pain. And yeah, just for that reason. Really.
So you're in the heresy now?
You could say I'm quite deep.
You're quite deep.
Deep, almost balls deep.
Okay, in that, yes, because last time we met, you didn't have Iron Warriors. Now you've got Iron Warriors.
Yeah.
Are you still looking for a friend in the Discord?
I'm looking for somebody to play with.
Okay, so down,
Heresy.
If you're in the Salisbury area...
Or Dorset area.
Or Dorset area. Contact Steve Not Rob in the Discord. He's got a lovely setup. You've already got a gaming club. How many boys are in your club?
How many boys are in my club? At least... 15, I think.
15 of you?
No, yeah.
Nice. And how many of them play Heresy?
Only me.
They're useless.
I know.
You need to convert them to the course.
They were either playing 40k or Sigmar
or
Star Wars or some.
Have you played some 40k?
I played 3 games of 40k since the last time we played Heresy, but no games of Heresy. So
right.
You're my only Heresy friend at the moment.
But if you want to be Steve's Heresy friend, contact him in the Discord. We were talking about this beforehand because this is bang on 3,000 points of Iron Warriors. Yeah. It's nice, the list building phase in Heresy. You kind of lost that in 40k.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things I really love about it. You can just sit down and really have a good think about how to build the army. So it's almost a game in itself.
Yeah.
To put together a list that's close to your target points as possible. So you can really think about, what to upgrade, what to take off. Can I fit another unit in if I take some points away from this? So it's a good thinking game. Nothing's free, which is great. So,
yeah. Well, the hobbying process, the playing process starts before you even play the game.
Yeah, it's more of an in-depth game system, I think, than 40k at the moment.
So Iron Warriors, when you shoot automata, buildings, vehicles, you get +1 strength.
Yeah, +1 strength, yeah.
+1 strength against against anything that's not infantry, +1 strength.
Yeah. Vehicles, automatas, and buildings for some strange reason.
And what rite of war and things?
So the rite of war I've gone for is Hammer of Olympia. So Hammer of Olympia means I can upgrade my bolters to shrapnel bolters.
Yes.
Which basically, instead of a 24-inch range, it becomes an 18-inch range, and basically it gives the unit pinning. So if I wound you, you have to take a pinning test.
Okay.
So hopefully to try and suppress you with bolts of fire coming in. Very Iron Warriors. And I can reroll ones as well.
Shotgun bolters, re-rolling ones that causing pinning.
Pinning, yeah.
Nice. You brought the Iron Circle, and here's your Warlord. Traits
so
and things.
I upgraded them to a Warsmith.
Yes.
Which is, you have to do it anyway as a part of the Rite of Warhammer of Olympia. So I upgraded him, which basically gives him a Cortex controller as part of the upgrade, so he can join Iron Circle.
Yep.
Which is a really cool bodyguard unit, and they look brilliant. They're one of our Iron Warriors specific units to their legion.
Brutal 2 weaponry, tough as all hells, haywire. Nasty. Okay.
Really good. Brutal 2, haywire. Not great at shooting, but quite punchy when they get in. Only weapon skill 4, I do believe.
Yeah.
So not that fast, but they're super tough, as you would expect from a bodyguard unit. Warlord trait I've given him. It probably won't come into effect this game because of the board setup, which you've already seen, but it is the Tyrant of Dodecathon. It's a strange pronunciation, or I'm just thinking I can't read, which is more like it. So basically that gives him, I can select a piece of, area terrain and make it difficult and dangerous.
Nice.
And which probably won't come into much in this battle. But the other thing it gives me an extra reaction in the shooting phase.
Yeah, that's
so long as my warlord's still alive, that is.
It's a good warlord trait if you want to pick area terrain in your opponent's deployment zone.
Exactly, it looked good, it sounded good.
You could do that.
And I didn't know what the board was going to be like, so I'm not tailoring.
So that's what he's doing.
Yeah.
3 units of 10 troops.
Yeah.
All shrapnel boards.
All these are these two ones are the same. So Vexillor, Sergeant's got lightning claws and a artificer armor.
Okay.
On them. That's just got a normal sergeant.
Yeah.
And they have got an Vexillor in this, but the Vexillor is just going to be the guy with the aerial.
Pokey thing. Yeah.
One of the units has got a rhino. That's got a dozer blade and a pintle mounted multi-melter.
I love the fact that the multi-melter's nearly as expensive as the rhino.
Yeah, but if it pushes up forward, at least it can try and shoot something.
It's a beautiful thing. 35 points for a rhino, 30 points for a multi-melter.
Yeah, it's great.
Brilliant.
So moving along, I have a Master of Signals.
Yes.
Basically, he can join a unit and give them +1 BS.
Yep.
And it gives him Augury Scanner, I do believe, and
The
a few other little
Signum.
things. Yeah, that's
it means if he doesn't shoot, they're hitting on 2s and you can't shroud it.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, so he's good. And also re-roll reserves if you're doing any reserve stuff.
The other thing, that reminds me, the other thing, with the Right of War, I can't have anything in reserve or anything coming in from Deep Strike, which is everything that basically has to be on the table for Iron Warriors.
So he's probably joining the autocannon team.
I reckon, yeah.
So they're going to be hitting on 2s.
Basically, yeah.
And special autocannon team?
So they rend on 6s and they have precision shot on 6s as well.
What are they called again?
They're just Iron Havocs.
The Iron Havocs.
They're a special unit just for the 4th Legion Iron Warriors.
Nice. So precision shots on 6.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Okay.
Apothecarian detachment, 2 Apothecarians. So basically chainsaw, bolt pistol, artificer armor on them.
Okay.
Those are the points. A big, expensive 575 point block of Tyrant Siege Terminators.
Nasty.
I'm going to see how well these perform. So,
well, they're scary.
So they basically got relentless firing protocols too, so they can shoot their bolters and their missiles.
Yeah.
And they can just trundle up the board. They got can't even say the word now.
That's the one.
That's the one, yeah.
Yeah.
Armor, so 4 up in fun save, I do believe.
People lose them for shooting all the time because lots of missile fire, but they've all got power fists.
Yeah.
So they're all quite threatening in close combat as well.
Yeah. You can give them a dual lightning claws, believe it or not.
Can you?
So yeah, but that's
nice.
It's a really expensive unit as it is. So.
Okay.
But no, power fists and bolters.
You got a couple of dreadnoughts.
2 dreadnoughts.
Melters in the fist. Or?
No. For points, I've only got bolters in the fist.
Okay.
1 Gravis Lass and one Gravis Melt Gun.
Okay.
And the big boy got the Kratos in the back. So the Kratos has got a flare shield, a dozer blade. I didn't put the dozer blade on this because I don't like the look of it. It's a horrible dozer blade. It's not very nice. I've got all last cannons with it, even though they're Volkites, excuse me, that's how I brought it. Melt cannon at the front and a pintle mounted multi-melter.
So all the las, the melter, the big nasty gun of doom, dozer blade in case you need it. So this has got quite some long range firepower, and the dreadnoughts and the tyrant and the terminators. So quite a lot of long range firepower. The terminators back up some punch, and that backs up one hell of a lot of punch.
Yeah.
And then 3 line units trying to run around and score as many objectives as possible. So if these die, you're not going to be scoring very much.
No.
But then you can focus on killing me and stopping me scoring.
Well, it's the thing you have to choose, isn't it? Either you choose to take out my shooting stuff or you choose to take out my troops. So you've got to... It's a choice, isn't it?
If I'm focusing on your troops, I'm not focusing on the stuff that's killing me. And obviously, I've played quite a few games of Dominion, and you don't score that much. I mean, it seems like you're going to be scoring points every single turn, but everything here pretty much denies except for the vehicles.
Yeah.
So after turn 1 or 2, it's kind of hard to score anyway.
Mm-hmm.
It often comes down to who kills more and whether the warlord's dead for that extra D3. And seeing as your warlord is buried in 3 of the Iron Circle here, I think he's going to be very hard to kill.
You would hope so.
Steve,
Yeah.
my army isn't 3,000.
Well, you lose the internet
I lose the internet point. It's 2,999,999
What you're trying
points.
to say is you've conceded already.
I've conceded already. This is an auto loss.
Time for the T phase and let's go home.
You've already got a T. This is the Mechanicum. I've brought an Arch-Magos Prime Legio Cybernetica, and what that means is Castellax are troops, but it unlocks them as line. It's pretty much how I always run them. I've done the Myrmidax thing a few times, but I like those Castellax gaining line, which means I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 line units running around all over the place. Yeah. But let's face it, the tech throws are only in there because I had points left over at the end. My Arch-Magos has the Warlord trait, the Science of Slaughter. It gives me 2 reactions in the assault phase, but every round of combat after the first, he gets an extra weapon skill and an extra strength. So we get stronger and better at fighting as the combats go on. And it keeps going up and up and up and up to a maximum of 10. But it'd have to be locked up forever to get up to 10, but he'll finally figure you out and rip you apart. And he's got an augury scanner, rag grenades, melter bomb, cyber familiar. He can bring all the things. He's an Arch-Magos, so I've given him all the things, and a master-crafted mechadendrite hive. What does all that mean? It means a 3-up invulnerable save. It means he's got extra attacks. It means he's got good battlesmith, and rag grenades means in the first round of combat your toughness goes down. The augury scanner means a free intercept reaction as well, but I don't think you're reserving anything. No, so that was wasted points. And then the Magos Dominus, who's joining him along, he's also got a Cyber Familiar for a 3-up invulnerable save, and a master crafted servo arm as well, because you need, if you bring a lot of Cybernetica along, you need a couple of these guys because they come with Cortex controllers and all that sort of shenanigans to give orders to the robots. The battle automata, just like your battle automata, if they're not within 12 inches of someone with a Cortex controller, they must shoot and charge the closest enemy thing. You can still move them away. You still can control them in the movement phase to put them where you want, but they'll always try and shoot and charge the closest thing. So you need Cortex controllers nearby. And with Legio Cybernetica as well, if one of those units is within 12 inches of 2 people with Cortex controllers, it does reduce your cover saves by 2. And the Dingen sights on the Thalax also reduce cover saves by 2 as well. So 2 units of Castellax, 1 with all the multi-melters, power blades and flamers, 1 with the dark fire cannons and just fists. Then we've got 3 units of Thalax, which are also line. They move a long way. They've got a movement of 7, plus they add 6 inches to their move with their Inculum jetpacks. They've got these little jetpacks on their back, look. And they can move, shoot, move. After they've moved, they can move again. Sounds very Eldar. It sounds very Eldar. They also have deep strike. They're also toughness 5 with 3 wounds and a 4-up save. And they've got feel no pain 6-up because they're in pain all the time. Yes, they're just a brain in a jar inside one of those things, and they're not very happy about it. The 2 units over here of 3, there's a multi-melter and melter bombs on those units, and I think I'm probably going to deep strike them in and go tank hunting for your Kratos. And then this unit here has got photon thrusters, 2 photon thrusters in, no melter bombs, and they can blind. Got a unit of Myrmidons, 4 wounds, toughness 5, 4-up invulnerable saves. They're not friends of dreadnoughts though. So I've brought a grav gun, 2 grav guns along, which would be haywire against your dreads and automata. And 3 of them have got plasma. 2 of them have just got Maxim bolters. They hit on 2s when they shoot. They've got hatred in close combat. They're quite chonky. When these guys come out in plastic, I want about 28 of them. They're glorious. In the backfield, 1 Thanatar unit with their plasma mortar. The reason why you bring 1 unit is because there's 3 heavies here. I could split them up. But you want to bring 1 unit along because then when you override their program behavior with the Cybernetica ability, you're overriding a unit, not just a robot. Because robots, battle automata, cannot react. And the Magoses, the Arch-Magos and the Magos, can tell them to react. They can tell them to do 1 of 4 things, and 1 is react. 1 is shoot better, 1 is charge better, 1 is more resilient in the shooting phase. So you tell them to do a thing instead of shooting, or instead of battlesmithing. You tell them to do a thing. And if you tell them to do 2 things, you need to make a leadership test. That's called a cyberthergic check. It's just like making a psychic power, essentially. So one unit with the plasma mortars means I can tell them to do one thing and they'll both do the one thing. And then over here, the Thanatar with the Solix Heavy Las, I've given him the Paragon of Metal upgrade. So he's got precision shots. He can snipe out your apothecaries or things like that. But he also doesn't rely on program behavior. He'll move and act like a dreadnought. He gets an extra wound. He gets it will not die. And the big las cannon on top. That's the largest las cannon the Mechanicum make that is not mounted on a tank. It's strength 10, armor bane at full range, and its graviton mace in the hand, ram in the hand, is used for banging the sides of starships together, bending ceramite plates into place on starships, and that's strength 10 as well. He's an absolute brutal dude. So I've got the guns, I've got the stuff. My weapon skill is lower than yours. My initiative is lower than yours. Don't really want to be in close combat with all your stuff. Just want to saturate it and bomb it from afar. Let's go on to deployment. Here we are after deployment. You'll notice that the Iron Warriors are deploying very defensively because the AdMech get to go first. I deployed first, go first. Now, one thing the AdMech can do in Legio Cybernetica lists is if you put your Magosses in with cybernetic constructs, they can ignore precision fire. So I've done that with both my Sub-Commander and the Archmagos, because you have got some precision fire in your army. And I've put that unit over there. So in turn 1, if you don't seize, I should get that objective. Around this side, there's a couple of objectives over here, but a lot more dense cover. So I put the Thanax who can move, shoot, move around this side, and there is one unit of Thanax in reserve, a multi-melter team. I was thinking about deep striking both of them in to go Kratos hunting, but there's 5 objectives on the table in this mission, and I'd rather like this objective over here. So just one unit with melter charges and a multi-melter, and the terrain down this side is very, very heavy. So this is where Steve put a lot of his stuff. Troops unit, all the auto cannons with AP4 shots can see my Thanax who have a 4-up save. So it's going to go straight through their armour. Autocannons are nasty, so they're not going to be there in turn 1. They're definitely going to move away from there. There's the Iron Circle. Tyrant Siege Terminators staying. I can't see them at all in turn 1. All down here. And remember, with Relentless, they can move right, they can move left. I'd have loved to put a Plasma Blast template down on their heads. I can see why you've done that. But one of the things you have given up is this is the gimme objective. If there was a troops unit here in turn 1, you'd automatically get a point.
Yeah.
But you've decided no, because a bit of a firing arc down this side of the battle grid. Instead, the unit are behind, and they're backed up by both of the dreadnoughts, which I also can't see. And the Kratos is down in this corner. It was about the only thing you couldn't hide, because it's really big. But it's taking cover, and it's got a flare shield on the front. So it's going to be kind of hard to break through. So a rather defensive deployment for the Iron Warriors. I've spread across the line. And then the question is, do you want to steal from a friend?
Who said we're friends?
It's a 6. You need a 6. Traitor.
Do you remember what happened last time?
You stole. So it means you're not going to steal this time.
It probably doesn't.
You're definitely not going to steal
this time. But it'd be funny if it does.
No, it wouldn't be funny.
What are the chances?
It would be a tragedy. Not a comedy.
There's a song there somewhere, isn't there? What is it?
It's a 2. It's a 2. It's the good guy Mechanicums in turn 1. With the sounds of battle booming 1,000 meters overhead, the Mechanicum move forward to secure down the shield generators. I get a point for locking down this one over here, and then we shuffle forward to try and bring all our guns to bear, and there's not very many guns that we can bring to get bear, while this unit of Thalax jump up and secure that objective over there. In Heresy, you can only shoot and charge what you can see. So I think they're going to be okay for turn 2, until turn 2. The unit of Thalax that were right in the open for that gun line have pulled back over here. Their job is to shoot anything that jumps onto those 2 objectives. And I think the Myrmidons around here will also back them up. So none of these units can be shooting, will be shooting for now. The only thing that can shoot is all of this big clump of machinery that I have here. And we'll start off with the 2 multi-melters that are in range that can shoot at the, what are they called again?
Iron Circle.
The Iron Circle. we're hitting on 2s with the multi-melters, 3s, sorry, and we're wounding on 3s, and there's a wound, and so that'll be an invulnerable save on the Iron Circle,
Fine.
which you make. Now we're down to the blinding unit and this unit. He's a Paragon of Metal, so he doesn't need to be told to do anything. But I've got 2 Magoses here. Let me think. I don't think they need to be told to react yet, because, well, when they get shot at, they can't shroud because they're fearless, and return fire. They're largely going to be out of range. So what I'm going to do is tell the front unit and the big unit of Thanatar that you absolutely do want dead to be more defensive in the shooting phase. I'm only going to enact their protocols once, 1 in each. What this means is every shooting attack that comes through, you ignore the first damage that comes through from each shooting attack. So if you shoot them 3, each shooting attack, it's quite strong. It's quite strong. It's kind of, it's because they can't shroud. So it's like I can ignore some 1 wound that comes through. Anyway, we'll go into the Dark Fire team. They're going to shoot through at your dudes as well, the Iron Circle, but these weapons get hot. So the first one hits okay. The second one is getting hot. The third one is getting hot. And the fourth one isn't. So 2 of them getting hot. They have 5 up invulnerable saves against that. So 2 of them will take a wound each. And then these are strength 7, your toughness 7. I'm wounding on 4s. I wound 4 times at AP 2. 4, 5 up invulnerable saves. One of them takes 3 wounds. I think they have 4 wounds each. It's also blinding, but you've got your Warlord in there, so basically don't roll a 6.
They have 5 wounds each.
5 wounds each, brilliant. Don't roll a 6 for the blinding test. That's not a 6. Let's drop 2 plasma mortars in there, and while you're clumped together, this one can only see the Iron Circle, but this one can see the Iron Circle and some of the autocannon teams as well.
Okay.
So the one that can see both of them, I'm going to fire the plasma mortar twice, which means reactor overload. That Thanatar takes D3 wounds. Takes 2 wounds. So I'm targeting the Iron Circle so he can't react to this. The one that's firing once here, because he can only see them. The one that's firing twice, I'm going to put it here, covering 2 in the Iron Circle. And 2 in the team as well. Because you can also hit things out of line of sight. Anyway, the one that's just hitting them is a hit. The one that's hitting, so that's 4. The one that's hitting the Iron Circle is going that way 5 inches. So that shot only hits 1, and the next one, so 4, 5, 6, 7, and 2 in that squad. The 2 in the autocannon team get wounded on 2s. And that one breaches, that one doesn't. So a 3-up save, and that one will just kill 1 because it breaches and ignores cover.
Oh, lovely.
But that one is a full armor save. And take 2 of them out. And the remaining shots into the Iron Circle. AP 4, their strength, toughness 7, right? So that one doesn't even wound. So they're all invulnerable saves. That one isn't. So 4 invulnerable saves, 1 non-invulnerable save.
One invulnerable saves first?
Yes. And you take 4 wounds. That will kill 1 of them and the extra 3-up save. Or did they have a 2-up save? I think they have a 2-up save.
Oh,
Yeah, you're good. 5. That's 2 autocannon teams, 1 of the Iron Circle. 1's down to 3 wounds remaining. And interestingly, they don't blow up. It's the automatic deflectors on dreadnoughts and on an automata rule. That means they explode when they die. You don't have the automata. You don't have the automatic deflector. You have those massive shields instead. The Mauler pattern bolt cannons are out of range, so the last thing that can actually shoot is the Solix Heavy Las through the side of this into your Kratos.
Oh, shroud.
So you might as well shroud. These are going to hit you on 3s with the Heavy Las. 2 of them hit. This is Armor Bane at range. So roll 2d6, add it together, and that pens. Roll 2d6, add it together, and that pens. 2 penetrating hits. You have 2 6-up cover saves because I'm firing through gantries and everything. And then 2 5-up shrouding saves. And you make 1 of them. So 1 shot gets through, but it's AP 2. A 6 will kill it.
Yeah.
That's a 4. Instead, that's weapon destroyed. So only 1 of the las cannons is ripped off of the Kratos, and it's down to 4 hull points remaining. But the Solix Heavy Las also has shock pulse. So you're snap firing next turn as electricity flickers over the hull and, scrambles some of the targeting arrays. Anyway, that is the end of turn 1 for the Mechanicum as we push forward, trying to defend these void shield generators. Let's find out what the Iron Warriors do in their turn 1. Because of the defensive deployment of the Iron Warriors, they don't actually lock down any the Dominion objectives yet, so it's still 1-0 to the AdMech. But this unit of infantry ran up and over. They're trying to lock down the entranceway to the Void Shield generators. And the Kratos, well, it might as well move its full distance because it's snap firing anyway. And then we have Dreadnought number 1 and Dreadnought number 2 pushing through underneath the gantries, and they have line of sight and range into the mess of battle automata down there. Talking about range, all the Tyrant Siege Terminators, they're 2 shots each, right?
2 shots each.
That's 20 shots with all their missile launchers at AP3, and I have a 3-up save into that mess down there. Remember, that front unit and the big Thanatars in the backfield will ignore the first shot coming through. Yeah. There's the battle automata with your Warsmith taking the centre of the board. The autocannon team staying still because they're heavy. Mm-hmm. And then the Rhino and the other unit of infantry moving around here towards the Thalax and the Myrmidons that are locking down the backfield objectives. So the Iron Warriors are positioning to open up fields of fire later in the battle. And the autocannon teams are going to unleash hell in the shooting phase, targeting this unit of automata with the multi-melters right there. You got 16 shots, you're hitting on 2s because there's a master signal in that squad. And that's a lot of hitting. Would normally win my battle automata on 3s, but your Iron Warrior. 2s.
Iron within. 6s are wending precision, but precision doesn't make any difference.
No.
Don't think anything.
So I ignore one of these, so I'll ignore one of the rending ones. And then that's a 5-up invulnerable save, which I make. And these are 3-up saves. And I take 3 wounds. One's down to 1 wound already. The shrapnel cannons from the Iron Circle are also going into them. 4s to hit. That's good shooting techs. And these are strength 5?
These are strength,
which becomes strength
5.
6.
Yeah.
And I'm toughness 6. So they actually wound on 4s. We have 3 wounds. 3. And I ignore the first one. So 2 3-up saves. And that's a dead robot, which blows up 2 inches. And it's going to hit some of the robots nearby. Boom. Shrapnel rains against the battle automata nearby, but doesn't wound any of them. And then the Tyrant Siege Terminators are firing again at the same unit. You're just pouring it on and pouring it on and pouring it on.
Kill is that,
okay.
That's
the thing. Yeah. Yeah. 3s to hit. Many hits.
Oh wow.
Strength 9 missiles. 2s to wound.
Yeah.
I want to do Iron Warriors, and when I do Iron Warriors, I'm going to get lots and lots of tanks, I think. I mean, their las cannons going to go up to strength 10. Yeah. The plasma cannons on the Predators, it's all going to be nasty.
The thing, if you build an Iron Warrior list of what I've read into it, especially with their rights, is if you take Sakarans and Predators, they ignore shaken results.
Brilliant.
It's a part of their rule. So, like, Predators are pretty cheap on this anyway.
Predators are cheap. A unit of 3 Predators with all the las, it's going to be nasty.
So basically, it just means they're a little bit more durable.
I would highly recommend. So these are all the wounds.
All the wounds.
All the wounds. These are all 5-up automatic shielding saves. Drop first don't count. Thank you.
There you go, mate.
This is going to sting, isn't it?
Let's hope so.
It stings. Then, after the dust settles, there's 1 battle automata left on 2 wounds in that multi-melter squad. That was an overwhelming amount of firepower, even ignoring some of the first damage coming through. And the Kratos is going to try and polish it off. 3 snap-firing las cannons. None of them hit. Auto cannon. That doesn't hit. The big melter gun. 4 shots.
And nothing again.
Nothing hits. So the last things left to fire is Dreadnought number 1 and Dreadnought number 2.
Yeah.
So the multi-melter Dreadnought couldn't see the last automata on 2 wounds remaining, so he fired into the Darkfire automata. No wounds caused. And then we have the las cannon dude. You can see the automata. But the interesting thing is, even if you get both wounds through, I'm going to ignore one of them. So you're not going to be able to kill it.
Yeah.
So do you want to fire at something else?
I'll probably fire at something. I'll shoot the grav into the Dreadnought. Not Dreadnought, they go Thanatar.
Thanatar.
Yeah.
They ignore the first damage that comes through as well.
Shot, yeah.
1 shot, yeah. So you could whittle it. It's down to 5 remaining. Okay. Try and take a wound off. You've got to start somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, here we go.
It's 2-shot Gravis las cannon. So they both hit.
Yeah.
And you're strength 10.
10 now, yeah.
So it wins on 2s against Thanatar, which is unheard of. Because they are toughness 8.
So you take away 1 and you save 1.
5-up and bun. I fail it. The injured fella. He's all the way down to 4 wounds remaining, and that is The end.
Just before you go, you need a pinning test.
Automators are fearless, yeah. So they don't suffer pinning. And that's the end of the shooting phase, because they ran the stuff around here are out of range and out of line of sight, and you've wiped out 3 or 4 of the automata, and they're pushing up the battle grid. However, in turn 2 for the Mechanicum, I'm going to get an extra 2 points for being on these objectives here, making it 3 points to 0. We're locking down the void reactors. We are overriding the noosphere and soothing the machine spirits, despite this incursion from the traitors. So the first thing I need to figure out is, are my reserves coming in on a 3? They're coming in. So because we're soothing the machine spirits and it's 3-0 in the lead, I didn't move very much. That was a brutal shooting phase from the Iron Warriors, and I really don't want the Dreadnoughts in close combat or the Automata over here in close combat. So kind of staying back. What I did is break away the Magos from this unit of Castellax and put him in a unit of 1 now with the injured guy with the multi-melter, and gave him a wound bank with a Battlesmith roll. So I've got 2 troop units locking down my home field objective, because there's a Dreadnought there which is going to come very close to them and be, well, yes, I need to double stack that unit. The rest of the stuff stayed still. The Cyberthurgy thing is tell these guys to, now the Darkfire team, to ignore the first wound that comes through in the shooting phase, and I didn't push them too far forward because the counter charge from the Iron Circle is going to be brutal. And I didn't need to move any of these things because Plasma wants to rain down into the Tyrant Siege Terminators.
Ouch.
We want to hurt them because they're going to hurt me a lot. And then round this side, these Thalax, these Myrmidons staying still. They're ready to pounce on anything that comes onto these 2 objectives. I've got a Myrmidon here that can see 2 Iron Warriors there. And then I move my Thalax around here because they can move, shoot, move. And one of them's got a multi-melter. So we want to crack open that right. Mind you, if I crack it open, then next turn you'll be able to charge me.
Yeah.
So maybe I don't want to crack it open. Maybe I just want to shoot the infantry instead. But yeah, I think next turn you're definitely going to have these objectives over here. But I've got a deep striking unit. Just 3 little Thalax with multi-melters that want to land here. This will be safe, right?
Yeah, what could
possibly go wrong? There's a Dreadnought there and everything. It doesn't feel safe to me. Maybe I should put them... No, I'm putting it... It's... Here? Is there better? Is that better? Is that better? I'm not sure if that's better. Maybe down here in the open is a bit better.
You should put them in your back corner.
Maybe if I put them here, they can't scatter off the table, and then I can string it a little bit. And you can't make any movement reactions to deep striking. So we'll put them there. Put it there. We're landing there. Because a deep strike has happened within 6 inches of your dudes, they've got to take a pinning test. Don't be pinned. You want this objective. They're not pinned. And then we'll open up the shooting phase by firing that into the Kratos. That's the name of it. Would you like to shroud this, or are you just going to take it?
I got 2 reactions in the shooting.
You have, but you can shroud it once, you see.
Shroud once.
And there might be some more big guns aiming at it.
Yeah, so carry on.
Carry on.
Yeah.
Multi-melter. Twin-linked. It hits. 2d6 armor bane. Doesn't pen.
-1, yeah.
It just bounces off the front, and the lightning guns, they do rend on a 6 up, so on a 4 up. So that's 6, that is 13. 7 plus 6 is 13.
Yeah.
Plus a d3. 14, 15. That's a glancing hit. There's a glancing hit, and there is intervening stuff between me and you. So, no, I do manage to tickle a hull point off with a lightning gun. Doesn't like the electricity, does it?
No.
Talking about electricity, how about a Solix Heavy Las firing straight at it?
What could go wrong?
Do you want to shroud this one?
No, it's probably likely to get blown up anyway, so...
You sure?
Yeah, because I can only shroud once, and I can only return fire once, can't I?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely going to be some shots coming into the Tyrant Siege Terminators, so you want to keep that.
Yeah.
But I would probably shroud this.
I'll
It's up to you.
I'll shroud it.
Okay. 3s to hit.
Lovely.
We all hit. Armor Bane ranged.
Yeah.
That is 16. That's a penetrating hit. And Penetrating hit.
Yep.
And triple penetrating hit. Triple 6-up cover saves coming up, Steve.
Yeah. So one.
Make one of them.
Now shrouding.
Double shrouding saves.
What's a shrouding? 5.
5.
Okay. Oh, one big story.
Just one.
Just one.
AP2 again.
Yeah.
It's a 3. It's a stunned result. Now you're reinforced, so you're not snap firing, but actually you are snap firing because of shock pulse.
Yeah.
So you can't move. You're snap firing.
Yeah.
It's down to 2 hull points remaining.
It's doing well, this new model, isn't it?
Your whole army is new model
yeah,
syndrome.
so yeah, everything's new model.
Come all the way over to this side. Where this Myrmidon can see the 2 Iron Warriors over there, firing at you with my plasma, which gets hot, and one of them takes a wound. The only one that's shooting is strength 6. So wounding on 2s, but they breach. So 3 breaching saves. There is cover in the way. You get 3 6-up saves. And I kill the 2 that I can see.
What's the strength for the weapon?
It's strength 6.
So I get feel no pain, so I've got Hothker.
Okay, yeah. 2 feel no pains. Nice. Just one then. So only one in that squad. And then these 3 could shoot that squad as well. But there is a rhino there with a multi-melter on it. So let's try and kill the rhino. Let's fire the multi-melter in, my multi-melter in, which hits. Armor Bane, which pens. No cover.
No cover.
AP1.
Boom.
There's 11 embarked, which get wounded on 2s. 7 3-up saves. And you lose 4 of them.
Do I get a feel no pain?
No, because it's strength 8.
Oh, of course it does.
You have to take a pinning test as well from an explosion, from a vehicle.
Fine.
And they're not pinned. And then we'll do the explosion and see if anything else is hit. That's the best my Thalax have ever done. Not only did I crack open that rhino, but 4 in this squad died to the explosion. 3 in the other squad died to the explosion. None of them are pinned, however, but killing a rhino and 7 dudes, that's really good. Then a move, shoot, moved. Jump behind the terrain one more time.
Very Eldar.
Very Eldar of me. And they're going to have to take a leadership test at the end of the shooting phase. And they might run off the board, which would be very exciting. Fired the Serlix Heavy Las. Over. It's the plasma.
Yeah.
I've got to drop the plasma down onto the Tyrant Siege Terminators. Do you want to return fire? Do you want to shroud?
No, I'm going to return fire.
You're going to return fire into these. I do get a 2-up save against it.
That's fine.
It's fine? Okay. The one that hasn't taken some wounds, he's going to overcook his plasma and takes D3 wounds. And that's 2 wounds. So one of them's on 5, one of them's on 4. 3 plasma discs coming out. Let's burn them. Die, traitor, die. Let's see where the first one goes. That's a hit. The second one is going to scatter 3 inches. That hits 2, and this one scatters backwards 3 inches, but that's down the line. 13 hits at the end, 2s to wound. Oh yeah, you couldn't shroud this, could you? Because it ignores cover. Right, fortunately for you, all of those are full Terminator saves, but unfortunately for you, they are strength 8, and they'll double you out. And those are invulnerable saves.
So let's do these first, yeah?
2-up saves.
2-ups.
You lose 2. And then those are 4-up saves because they're cataphracti. You only lose 3 in the end.
Yeah.
That could have been a lot worse. A bajillion shots back again on 3s. And it's strength 8 versus toughness 8. But Iron Warriors, strength 9 versus toughness 8. So 3s to wound.
Yeah.
Just 5, Steve.
Just 5.
2-up saves. I take a wound. Now, the last thing left to fire is the Dark Fire Cannon team that's been told to ignore the first damage that comes through in the shooting attack, to lock down their battle stabilizers, and I want to fire at the Tyrant Siege Terminators one more time. Only killed 3 of them. We need to kill more of them.
Yeah.
So the first one, who's already injured with the gets hot. The second one gets hot. The third one. And the fourth one. And then that gets hot. And 2 of them are now injured. Darkfire ripping apart holes in reality. Wound on 2s at AP2. Just burning through the veil. 6 Terminator saves coming up, or 4 up. And only 1 gets injured. Yeah. But it is a blinding weaponry. And you don't want to roll a 5-6. You need to blow your initiative. You do. Otherwise, you'd only be snap firing next turn. So only kill 3 and injure 1. That's good. It means they're still very much combat effective. And that is the end of my shooting phase. You've got a bunch of leadership tests to make. Where do you want to start?
Let's get these ones, yeah.
Okay, yes. They hold. That's 8.
This guy here.
Unit number 2. They hold. They're good. Tyrant Siege Terminators took 25% casualties as well, but their leadership 9. So you should be fine, right?
Yeah.
That's a 5. You're good. They're Iron Warriors. Iron within. Arm without. Holding firm. That is the end of my shooting phase. The only thing I need to do is try and make a charge with these Thalax into the front of that Kratos. And we fail the charge. As electricity flickers over the front of the Kratos, stunning it in place. I think the Thalax thought it was dead. Either that or they were scared of that Dreadnought right there. So at the end of turn 2, I didn't take out the Kratos. I didn't take out the Tyrant Siege Terminators. I am 3 points to 0. You are going to get a point for this one here, making it 3 points to 1. So is this where the Iron Warriors begin their comeback in turn 2? Down by the entrance to the generators, the Dreadnoughts come stomping forward. The one on this flank getting closer and closer to my home field objective down here, with the last Castellax and a unit of Ad Secularis Covenant. Here are the Iron Warriors with their shrapnel bolters stood there, but the Dreadnought could make short work of that unit of Thalax, but I'm not sure if he wants to shoot at them. He might want to shoot over their heads down here into the battle automata and leave the Thalax to the tactical squad that are stood there. They should be able to rip them apart in close combat. Might take them a turn or two. But Admech, well, my weapon skill is worse than you. My initiative is worse than you.
So they not strike you first, basically.
Yeah, you get to strike first. I am toughness 5, however. So, you know, punching against a big stompy robot is tough. Yeah. But they're not very good at punching you back again. You are a transhuman. And then you remembered 7th edition all of a sudden.
Yeah.
What happens in 7th edition is combat spread for all the blasts that come in.
Yeah.
To be fair, in the first turn, they had to be tight together because you were moving to get them around the corner. Yeah. But now they're spreading out. They are relentless. They can bring their weapons to bear. The autocannon team staying still. Yeah. And now you've moved on to this objective with that team. Yeah. And then this objective, these guys moved round as well, the ones that got blown out of the Rhino. I could have reacted to that and moved back, but have put them right in line of fire of the autocannon team, which had absolutely murdered them. And talking about murder, there's the Iron Circle, ready to breach around the side of the generator. So pushing forward on the left, pushing forward on the right, as we go into the Iron Warrior shooting phase. We opened up the shooting phase with a snap-firing Kratos, firing down at the Thanatar unit, and one of them is knocked down to 2 wounds remaining. One of the snap-fire shots getting through. Now the Iron Warriors are pulling out their shrapnel pistols because they want to charge the Thalax, and they're firing at them. Yep. They're hitting on 3s. And you're rerolling any 1s. There's a 1. 5s to wound though. We have 4 wounds, 4 4-up saves, and a feel no pain. So one of them takes 2 wounds, and it's a pinning test, leadership 7. That's what shrapnel bottles do. We're not pinned. One of them's on a wound already. We'll get back to the Dreadnoughts. You're coming across the Tyrant Siege Terminators. Yeah. You're thinking about picking on this lone Castellax down here, maybe, but instead you're firing at the Darkfire guys because you've got 14 shots still. Yeah. It's AP 3 against armor 3. So each successful shot will pin straight through the armour. 3s to hit though.
3s to hit, yeah.
And then 2s to win. Yeah. That wasn't great shooting. I ignore the first damage that comes through. These are 5-up saves. I fail every single save. That is 6 damage. And one was on 3 wounds and one was on 3 wounds. And you have to apply it to whole models where possible. Mm-hmm. So that actually, terrible shooting, but takes out 2 robots. After the dust settles, one of the Castellax has taken a wound. 4 of the Ad Secularis Covenant have taken a wound, and this guy's down to 2 wounds remaining. That was a big explosion. Yeah, that was great shooting from the Tyrant Siege Terminators. What are you doing with this Dreadnought here?
He's going to have a try and tickle the Thanatar.
Tickle the Thanatar on 2 wounds. Okay, hits on a 3. And that hits, and it's strength 9. 9. And it wounds. 5 up and bun. The Thanatar is down to 1 wound remaining, and then you've got 2.
You've got a little bolter in his fist as well. So.
Actually, your bolter can hurt me.
Because it's strength 5 bolter.
The strength 5 bolter, yeah.
So it hits.
You need a 6.
And it's a 6.
It's a 6.
Go on, please fail this.
Are you going to kill me with a bolter? It'll be embarrassing. It'll be embarrassing.
Oh,
no.
really?
So the las cannon dread is also firing at the Thanatar.
Yeah.
Trying to get rid of that Thanatar. 2 shots with the las cannon. Here we go.
Here we go.
And one of them misses.
Hits.
Brilliant. The other one wounds on the 2.
Yeah. Oh.
And it wounds. 5 up, invulnerable save or death on one of my Thanatars.
Oh,
It's alive. So apart from bolt gun fire down here, Steve, not Rob, the last big thing that you've got left to fire is that autocannon team here. And what do you want to shoot at? You've got 2 Castellax, 1 Castellax?
Yeah, I'm going to try and tickle the last wound off. I know it's a 2-up armor save, but I'm hoping for some...
On the
rounds
Thanatar?
of 6, yes. Maybe big bada boom, maybe try and spill over, kill
But
some
you could
stuff.
only see 1 Thanatar.
Exactly. But the pie plates have been killing me all the game. So if I can remove 1 pie plate...
Sounds like a plan.
Sounds like a cunning plan. So cunning you could finish the sentence.
Put a tail on it and call it a fox.
Yeah. Okay, right, 2s.
2s. 2s to hit because Master Signals. 4s to wound because Iron Warriors.
Yeah.
Looking for 6s though.
I'm looking for 6s, right?
Yeah, please no 6s. There is 1 6. So the end is a 5 up and vulnerable save. Or dead Thanatar. Dead Thanatar. And then the other 4 come through and they're AP 4.
Yeah.
And you can see the Magos.
Okay.
1 minute. Let's get down and have a look. I meant that one. What about that one? No, we got down, had a look. You can't see him. Phew. And let's do some explosions. Dude, that was a 6-inch explosion.
That was good.
That was painful.
Big bada boom.
Yeah. 2 wounds. 4 wounds. Ad Secularis Covenant Tech Throws down to 1 remaining. Now.
Got a wound on your big shooty dude, didn't
I? No, he saved it. He had a 2-up save. He was fine. We've got some more shots around here. Are you shooting? I want to return fire.
I'm not shooting here.
Why?
Because you'll return fire.
Brilliant. Okay, so that's the end of the shooting phase. This little tech throw, leadership 6. Does he run? I feel like he's had enough. He's on his own, and he's just died to explosions.
Oh, he's
gone. He's gone. He's running away, and he's going 4 inches back, right into a path of a dreadnought. I don't think he knows it's there yet. Then we have a charge phase with the Iron Warriors over here, trying to charge the Thanax, who are gonna overwatch you. And I fail with the lightning guns, and the multi-melter hits and wounds 1. You can put it on one of the guys up here.
For 6 up. No.
And takes 1 out. And don't roll snake eyes on the charge, because terrain is a thing. And that is a 4-inch charge. You'll make the charge. So you make the charge, only losing 1 Marine over here into the Thanax, and then down on the other side of the Void Shield chamber, you make the charge into these Thalax as well. And I've got 2 reactions in the assault phase. So I killed one of them on the way in.
You did, yeah.
And now we fight. Here's the combat blades from the standard Marines, hitting on 3s. Going to be winning on 5s though. And that's a wound. 4 up save, 6 up feel no pain. I'm good. Then the Apothecary has got 4 attacks on the charge. And the Apothecary's hitting on 3s. And hits twice. He's going to be wounding on 5s, but re-rolling for shred, because he's got a chainsaw. There's another wound. Another 4 up save. And a 6 up feel no pain. And take a wound. And then triple attacks with the Lightning Claw Sergeant. On 3s. Drop dice and count. He hits twice. 5s to wound. Re-roll him for shred. And it's AP3, goes straight through my armour. So I need to make feel no pains. And I don't. You take out one of them. I've got 2 guys left. They're going to strike back against you. And we're AdMech. So we're hitting you on 5s. You are transhuman. I hit twice.
Lovely.
Wound on 4s. I wound twice.
Lovely.
2 full armour saves. You could tank them on your sergeant if you want to.
No.
And you're good. So I lost that combat. But I'm leadership 7 stubborn. I need to hold. Otherwise I'm going to flee off that objective and give it to you. So 7... I don't hold. We have initiative, roll off. I'm adding 2 to this. I made a 7. You're adding 4 to this.
No.
You made a 6. Yeah. So you failed to sweep them. And in fact, they fall back successfully 7 inches. The Iron Warriors break through, locking down that objective. The Thalax are fleeing across the battle grid. Now we come down here to the fight next to the Kratos and the Dreadnought. Space Marines pile in. There's 16 attacks here on 3s. Winning on 5s though, trying to break through that iron shell. That is only 3 wounds. 4 wounds.
Yeah, 4.
4 up saves with a feel no pain. 1 was injured, so 1 falls, which means I've got 2 left fighting back against you. and they hit once and wound none at all. So I lost that combat as well. Leadership 7, and we hold. And so at the end of turn 2, it's 3 points to 1 for the Iron Warriors, and they've destroyed half of the Loyalist Mechanicum army. And they're all over that objective, and that objective, and that objective. 3 separate objectives. If they're still holding them in the Iron Warriors turn, they're going to get a lot of points. But for now, I'm going to pick up another point in turn 3 for being on this one objective down here, making it 4 points to 1. And I'm running out of gun. And do I send my Myrmidons into the jaws of hell? In my movement phase, I did manage to regroup both of my units, but the Thalax unit that fell back, they count as pinned. Essentially, they can't charge. They'll be snap firing. And I've got 2 units of Thalax heading down towards that objective there to try and stop you scoring it, while the Myrmidons here can see every single one in that unit down there as well, and try and blow you off of those 2 objectives that you're on.
I hear you're good at blowing people off.
I'm very good at blowing people off of objectives.
Of objectives.
Yes.
Okay, sure.
So that's happening there, and then the charge from the Iron Circle into them is going to be rather painful, but we'll figure that out later. It is 4 points to 1. So I need to lock down this objective here, and after the Ad Secularis Covenant little tech throw regrouped, you reacted and came closer forward.
Yeah.
So the last Castellax guy came round the corner because I don't want you killing him. I mean, you can shoot charge 1, which is going to be the little tech throw. And then I don't want you consolidating onto that objective, and this will keep you off of the objective for one more turn. And I tried to heal him with Battlesmith and I failed.
Yeah.
What I did manage to do with my Warlord, who's now joined the Thanatar one more time, is tell the other unit, the Castellax, to react and ignore the first damage coming through in the first shooting attack. Basically, I'm trying to lock this down as much as possible. I've got 1 Thanatar left with the Plasma Mortar. And he's not that scared of your Turret Siege Terminators because they're AP3. They're AP3. He's got a 2-up save. He's not that scared of them. What he is scared of, however, what he isn't scared, he's also not scared of your autocannon team, but the Thalax over here are really scared of your autocannon team. So I think by moving him round, I can drop it on the autocannon team instead. Drop it like it's hot. Myrmidons and these guys shoot off a bunch of stuff over here, and then the Tyrant Siege Terminators have decisions to make, whether they want to shoot down and try and kill some Thalax, or whether you want to kind of keep putting pressure on all the robots over here. Because I started off with 8. I've only got 3 left, and 2 of them are on 2 wounds. We've been taking a pounding, and that's just 2 turns of shooting. I'm good at taking a pounding as well.
Yes.
In the shooting phase.
I know that.
Yes. So we're going to start off the shooting phase with the nasty, the Thanatar, trying to strip away the last 2 wounds off your Kratos. I've managed to shut it down for the whole game.
You have, that's
we'll try and shut it down one more time. So no reaction. It's on 2 wounds remaining. If it dies, it dies. There's cover. I'm shooting for loads of intervening stuff in the way, and I hit every single time. Let's armor bane it to death. And the first one pens. Second one doesn't pen, and the third one pens. 2 penetrating hit. 2 6-up cover saves.
I'm trying to say if I get a 6, it's good.
Yes.
Oh, here we go.
You get 1 6, it's good. It is shock pulse.
It is shock pulse, but you could blow it up anyway.
I could blow it up on a 6. Third time, no. It's down to 1 whole point remaining, but it'll be snap firing again. That's fine. It'll take me more than these turns. Going to take me more than 3 turns. So we're going to fire the Thanatar with ignores cover, so you can't shroud it up and over into the autocannon team.
What, this Thanatar? I will return fire with those.
You're going to return fire with them?
Yes.
Let's see if we hit, though.
Boom, of course
we hit. It's going to hit 9 dudes. Not overcooking. Only 4 wounds left on that fella. But that just kills 3 of them utterly. Then you have 5 3-up saves from the AP4 shots. And you can re-roll them because you're heavy. And they're a blast template.
Oh, so I can re-roll that?
Yeah, re-roll that.
Okay.
Okay, so kill 3. Returning fire on 2s. On 4s, 6 is rend. And the fact that 6 is rend is the reason why I didn't overcook my plasma. Because those are 3 rending hits that come through. So that's 3 5-up and vulnerable saves. and I take a wound, and then
three
3 more 2-ups. I take 2 wounds. It's down to 2 remaining. All right, 1 reaction so far. Over here, my toaster snap firing at your dreadnought. Do you want to return fire?
Absolutely not.
I don't hit him. Brilliant. The multi-melter is going to shoot at the dreadnought, and it's twin linked, and I hit and I wound, and a 5-up automatic shielding save.
Fine. And
it's fine. And then I've got the 2 remaining Castellax with the dark fire cannons, and if I fire at the turret siege terminators, you'll definitely return fire.
Yes.
So there's not enough of those auto cannons left. Let's fire at the auto cannons. There's 5 of them left there, getting hot and getting hot, and they're both going to take a 5-up invulnerable save against that. And they both, one's on 1 wound now, one's down to 3 wounds. These wound you on 2s. That's 2 wounds. And you have 2 6-up cover saves, because I'm shooting through loads of crap. And I take 2 more out, and then don't roll a 6, strength 7.
7, so I get Fun of Pains.
Have you got an apothecary?
No, sorry, no. Hold on, up my ass.
Yeah, that's the master thing you got. Yeah. So 2 get taken out. Don't roll a 6 for the blinding test, though. Fine. You don't roll a 6. They're more manageable now. Talking about manageable, let's get you off some of these objectives. The snap firing dudes into the squad over here. Here's the lightning gun and the multi-melter, which is twin linked. No, and then the guys firing at full ballistic skill. We have 4 lightning guns. No, these shooting at that objective, trying to get you off that objective. We hit 4 times. It is strength 7, and they all wound. 2 of them breach, 2 of them not breach. No cover there.
No cover.
But you got feel no pains.
Yeah, so the 2 feel no pains for the breaches, yeah?
Yes.
So 1 dead.
Okay, and then 2 armor and 2 feel no pains on the other shots.
Fine.
Okay, so 1 so far. And then there's 2 photon thrusters in there, which get hot, and 3 of them hit. These are strength 6. They're AP 2. That's 3 more feel no pains. That takes out 2 more. And it's a blinding test. Don't roll a 5 or 6, pass an initiative test.
Fine.
I haven't blinded you at all yet.
I haven't pinned you, so.
We move, shoot, move, get closer to that objective. And now we're coming on to the Myrmidons, pouring everything into this unit here. Got an apothecary in this unit. Anyway, we're hitting on 2s. This is the guy that's injured, because all these phased plasma fusels get hot. And then 2s on another one. 2s again. He gets hot twice. He doesn't know how to use his gun very well. But no, he does. He saves both of his... I didn't take any wounds from phased plasma fusels. That is the first time that has ever happened. I mean, their weapons are so deadly, they hurt themselves using them. Strength 6.
Yep.
2s to wound. 4s breach. 6 armor saves. And he felt the pain and he's died. And then 9 6-up cover saves. And you make 4 of them.
Wow.
And then the 5 feel no pains on these. And that is 5 dead in total. And that's the end of my shooting phase, and I haven't killed both squads. You've still got the sergeant, the vexilla, and the apothecary in this squad. And a sergeant chilling with the apothecary in this squad. And that's it. You need to take some leadership tests now. So where do you want to start?
Let's start with these dudes, shall we?
Leadership 9 with the centurion.
Okay, that's a 5.
They hold that unit. Leadership 8. They're fleeing. 2d6. How far is that? Is that 12?
That's a 12.
They're gone. They're gone. I made a unit flee. And what about unit number 2? Unit number 3? Leadership 8. You still got a sergeant. They hold.
Yeah.
That's one of your scoring units gone. Interestingly, I wasn't able to move, shoot, move to get within 3 of that objective. So you are going to score that one.
Woo.
And you are going to score this one. But first, we fight. In this ongoing combat, the Iron Warriors have 10 attacks. They're hitting on 3s. And they're punching good.
They're punching really
Every
good.
single blow lands.
No, I need that again.
But it's 5s to wound though.
It is, yeah.
Trying to break through the tough armour of a Thalax. And they land 4 blows. And I fail 3 of the saves, and I fail 2 of the feel no pains, killing one of them. There's 1 Thalax remain who kicks out and hits once and wounds once. 3-up save.
Fine.
And you hold. Okay. Leadership 7. He holds.
He holds.
Lock you up, but you'll still be in range of that objective. And so as we go on to Iron Warriors turn 3, they lock down 2 of these critical objectives in the reactor for Gorgon Bar. It's 4 points to 3. The traitors are catching up. While the shock pulse Kratos is staying still and this unit of Marines continues to battle with that lone Thalax down there, this Contemptor Dreadnought is making its way round the edge to try and get towards my HQs down in my deployment zone. And in the middle of the battle grid, the Tyrant Siege Terminators spread out to bring their guns to bear. The autocannon team behind, or 3 remaining, stay still. And then down here, the Iron Circle continue to push forward. Your Warsmith has healed up the injured one all the way up to full wounds. So they're both on 5 wounds remaining. And when you came forward, I reacted with this unit, ignoring vertical distances. It's not 40k. They've jumped all the way up there. I'd rather you just charged 1 unit, not both.
Yeah. Or
try and make the long bomb charge through cover into the Myrmidons. But they're trying to do all they can to lock down these 2 objectives. Yeah. And then there's a lot of guns still over here, which are going to rain hate into my robots. Snap-firing Kratos, everything into Thanatar. Here's the 3 las cannons. You get 2 hits this time. Wow. There's a wound on 2s as well. Strength 10 las cannons. And they both wound. And it's okay. And then the 4 shots with the melter cannon on the top, which hit once and wound on a 3. And it doesn't wound, then we'll do the autocannon. Yeah. And the autocannon didn't do anything. And now sneaky stuff is happening. Yeah. You've got the las cannon and bolter coming into this Ad Secularis Covenant.
Take out that spark.
Take out the spark plug, so it's free for the Dreadnought to come through and charge the unit behind. Yeah. I like it, very clever. Hitting on a... That hits.
And wound on a 3.
I'm assuming that's the bolt gun.
Obviously, yeah.
And I fail the cover save, and I fail the feel no pain, and the las cannon will just obliterate him as well. So if the Dreadnought's charging that, the Dreadnought might as well shoot it.
Exactly, yeah. So let's do
one multi-melter, which is twin-linked. And needs to... Yeah, that hits.
It's BS5, aren't they?
Wounds on a 2. And wounds, 5 up and run. And it's down to 1 wound, and then they've got 2 bolters. Yeah. And it's twin-linked. So they both hit
5s.
And they both wound because Iron Warriors things.
Yes.
And it's on 1 wound remaining, that Castellax. So 2 Castellax and the Thanatar remaining. You got the Tyrant Siege Terminators and the autocannon team. What's your thoughts, Steve?
My thoughts are I'm going to try and rend the Thanatar to death with 2 wounds remaining.
With the autocannons?
Yeah.
Instead of firing up at the troops or anything?
But if I kill him, I could turn the Terminators up there, you see.
Okay.
So, because the Terminators are AP3.
Yeah, Terminators are AP3.
Saves.
These are ignoring the first damage that comes through and returning fire.
Well, yeah, exactly. So I'm more worried about the returning fire.
Okay.
You know.
It's only 4 shots returning fire. Only 4 shots. You got 4 up and vulnerable save against those 4 shots.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's do the autocannons into
Thanatar.
If it works, it works. It doesn't. It
2s to hit.
It was good.
That's 5 hits. 4s to win.
6 is rend. So I'm looking for those sweet.
There's a rend and a normal wound. Yep. Normal wound and a rend. I'm good.
Good.
No wounds caused. Now Tyrant Siege Terminators decisions need to be made.
The Thanatar again.
Thanatar?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
No, I'm not sure.
Okay.
No, not I'm doing it. I'm going to change my mind again because I'm really decisive like that.
Yes.
I'm going to put them all into the Castellax.
Are you sure?
I am. Even though I'm going to get return fire.
I'm going to return fire.
More chance of killing them.
Okay. 3s to hit.
3s to hit. Okay, that's
2s to win the Castellax. And it all ignores my armour. And then I ignore one of them.
Yep.
And these are all 5-up saves. And there's 4 wounds to get through. And you kill them all. We'll do some explosions, but while we're here, let's do some returning of the fire and a miss every single time. Boom, the Castellax have gone, and in the explosion, that Thanatar gets knocked down to 1 wound, and the remaining Castellax down there dies as well. So I am not controlling that objective at all. You've wrecked your way through it.
Like a wrecking ball.
Like a wrecking ball.
Came in like a wrecking ball.
And now the Tyrant, the Iron Circle are shooting at these Thalax here. They're hitting on 4s. And at strength 5, you're wounding on 4s. How many wounds?
2.
2 wounds, 2 4-up saves, 2 6-up feel no pains, and a pinning test. You cut one down to 1 wound remaining, but don't pin them. And at the end of the shooting phase, they charge. And they charge.
So 3
inches is enough, because you can just stay on the other side of the barricade if you want and shuffle them along.
Shuffle like this.
And then you've got this dreadnought over here charging my last Magos. He might as well brace. He braces. How far do you charge?
I don't know, let's see, shall we?
That's enough.
Yeah.
So Crump, you get in there, you got 4 attacks, you hit on 3s against my Dominus, and you hit 3 times, and then you wound on 2s, and they're brutal 3, so we need to make 6 3 plus invulnerable saves. He nearly made 6 3 plus invulnerable saves, but you run him down. Then you consolidate straight onto my home objective, pushing me off of every single one, and now the Iron Circle fights the Thalax. They have Hammer of Wrath 3, so this is 6 impact hits, which wound on 2s, and that is 6 wounds, 6 4-up saves, and feel no pains. One's dead, one's on 1 wound remaining. Then they raise their hammers, 4 attacks each on the charge. They're hitting on 3s. Graviton Mauls of Strength 9, they're wounding on 2s. And at Brutal 2, that's 1 dead Thalax, and then you consolidate, pushing forward. And now we come all the way across to here, where you've got 10 attacks into the last Thalax, trying to cause trouble over here, hitting on 3s and wounding on 5s. Can you take out the last guy? He's not injured yet. 4 wounds, you might be able to. 4 4-up saves, and I feel no pain. He takes a wound, he strikes back and misses, so he failed that leadership test. He fails that initiative roll off, and you sweep him.
Whoa.
They consolidate. Then at the end of Iron Warriors turn 3, it's 4 points to 3. The Iron Warriors are only 1 point behind, and I'm not going to pick up anything for holding down any objectives in turn 4. I've got 2 big Thanatars left. I've got the Myrmidons left. I've got this unit up here. I need to do something about all your guns, and this Thanatar is only on 1 wound remaining. I think the best thing I can do is try and target units that are in range of objectives, try and pin them, try and make them run away, maybe. And it looks like I definitely have to charge that Iron Circle as we go into Mechanicum turn 4. So in the movement phase, the Thalax jump down there, stop you taking that objectives. The Myrmidons push forward against the Iron Circle, and the Thanatar with my Warlord make his way around this way. I try to heal him up with Battlesmith. I roll a 1. No healing up.
Yeah. Can I do something a minute?
Can you do what?
You move your Thanatar there. Can I react by moving these Terminators forward or not?
At the end of the movement phase, if I'm within 12.
Oh, within 12, okay.
So,
yeah.
no. So we are going to instead drop some stuff down on that unit there. Plasma for the win. That's a hit. 5 of them. Wounded on 2s. That'll nuke 2 of them. Those are 2 full armor saves. And a nuke 4 in the end. And then the Mauler pattern bolt cannon is finally in range, which is twin linked. And this wounds on 2s. And you get full armor saves against that.
How many?
2.
Okay, fine.
And that's fine, that's fine. That causes pinning as well, but that's killed 4 of them. That will be a leadership test. Then we're going to fire the Solix Heavy Las. Guess where it's going?
Kratos by any chance?
Yes. 4th turn of shooting. Let's see if I can take it out. Hit twice. Armor Bane. Doesn't pen. Armor Bane.
Shroud, obviously.
Does pen. 1 penetrating hit. You've got a 6-up cover save.
Here we go.
You have a 5-up shroud.
There we go.
It's dead, but does it go boom? It doesn't go boom. It is just a wreck. Now on the other end of the battle grid, firing everything from the Thalax into the 3 remaining dudes over here. Don't need to shroud this because you've already got a damage mitigation thingy bob with an apothecary. Here's the lightning guns. They all hit. They are strength 7 and they shred. And their breach, they don't breach. So that's 2 feel no pains and 2 armor saves.
So let's do the feel no pains.
Okay.
Okay, 1's dead.
And then 2 armor saves and 2 feel no pains.
Fine.
Be good. And then gets hot with the photon thrusters. They all hit. This is strength 6 AP2. 3 of them wound. That is 3 5-up. Feel no pains or they're dead.
What was AP on? Sorry.
AP2.
Oh shit, I'm off. This armor doesn't even have
It goes straight through.
3 ups, you said? 5 ups. Okay.
And they get taken out. We move, shoot, move. We jump onto that objective there. And now the Myrmidons are firing everything at your dudes.
I can't do anything.
You can't do anything for this because you're automata, you can't react. Let's start off with the haywire shots. We hit on 2s, one of them misses, and that on a 6 with haywire, no invulnerable saves, it's a flat wound. These are the Maxim bolters. These hit on 2s, but they're bolters, so I need to wound you on 6s, and you'll get your full save against it. And I get 2 6s. They have a 3-up save, and I tickle another 2 wounds off, so one's down to 2 wounds remaining. And let's overcook some plasma. The guy who's injured doesn't get hot. Another guy doesn't get hot. And the last plasma, no, again, the best shooting phase after the best shooting phase I ever had. Strength 6 versus toughness 7. I need 5s, but 5s will breach.
Okay.
It'd be nice if I killed them in the shooting phase because you are very nasty in assault, and that was horrible. 5 ups. It was okay in the end. And you say you
make anything.
You don't save any. So that's 1 dead.
Yeah.
1 drop down to 2 wounds. That's the end of my shooting phase. We're going to charge now. Myrmidons charge. Please don't roll snake. Actually, you know, you have a leadership test with them first. Please fall off of that objective. And you do. And that's the only objective that you were controlling. And they fall back.
1d6.
Yeah, there's a Vexilla in there somewhere.
2 inches?
Yes. But because you're falling back, you don't count as controlling that objective. And then the Myrmidons charge. And I don't want snake eyes. And that's a 7, which becomes a 5. We make it. I'm unwieldy with my omniscient axes. So you go first with the Iron Circle of Manipul on force. And he hits once. Wounds on a 2. Wounds. And it's brutal 2.
Yep.
2 5-up and buns. I take 2 wounds. Now we're down to initiative 1. So we'll keep going with you. You've got your Praetor, who's got his 4 attacks with a hammer. He hits on 3s. And he only hits once. Strength 8. Toughness 5. He wounds. It's brutal 2. You will kill 1. 1 was on a wound.
I got my servo arm. Which
You can do your servo arm as well. And that misses. All right, let's try and punch you to death. Interestingly, I'm weapon skill 4 and your Iron Circle is weapon skill 4, but your Praetor is weapon skill 6. So you always count the higher one when there's 2 models. Yeah. So I'm hitting you on 5s. But we hate you. You're traitor scum. We re-rolled a hit. We're strength 7. Your toughness 7. 4s to wound. 2 wounds. Your Domitar's on 2 wounds remaining.
It is, yeah.
2 5-up and vulnerable saves.
Can I choose? Oh, no.
You can put them on the Praetor if you want to.
Instant kill, doesn't he?
Nope, they're strength 7. They won't insta kill him.
I'm going to put it on the Praetor to start with.
Okay, 4-up and bun. He takes a wound.
I'll put it on him again.
He takes 2 wounds. So the Domitar's on 2. The Praetor's on 2. And we're locked up. That combat is ongoing. Automata are fearless. That's the end of my turn 4. In Iron Warrior's turn 4, I pushed them off of every single objective, and this unit are running back. Let's do a leadership test, see if they regroup in turn 4. At 4-3, the Loyalists are winning by just 1 point. But remember, in Dominion, you get D3 extra points for killing more, D3 extra points for the Warlord. And I'm definitely running out of units as the 2 Contemptors head straight down towards the Thanatars. And the Tyrant Siege Terminators move round to get shots in as well. And round in the backfield, the Master of Signals has moved his auto-cannon team round because he had no line of fire. But essentially the only thing that is shooting is 2 Dreadnoughts and these Terminators. So the last cannon Contemptor Dread is firing at my Thanatar and hits both of the times and wounds on 2s. And wounds once. 5-up or death. Death. He blows up 1 inch, hits the dude who stood next to, wounds him. He has a 2-up save. He makes a save, and my Warlord is exposed. So the second Contemptor is going to fire everything at the Warlord. 2 Gravis multi-melter shots. They both hit. They'll wound on 2s. They both wound. He has a 3-up and vulnerable save though. Cyber Familiar. He takes a wound. He's down to 2 remaining. And then you've got the bolt gun as well that can fire in, which will hit on 2s.
What's his toughness?
5.
Oh yeah, so he's just about.
Hits both of the times. Wounds on 5s. Wounds once and a 2-up save. And he's fine. He's on 2 wounds remaining. Yeah, Archmagos are toughness 5.
That's
the normal Magnos, toughness 4. So he's alive on 2 wounds remaining. There's a lot of Tyrant Siege Terminators looking at him. The Terminators unleash hell, hitting on 3s. There's a lot of 1s and 2s. That wasn't great. And you're wounding on 2s. And it's AP 3, so I need my 2-up Artificer saves. He made his own armour. It's called his body, his skin. And he's still alive. And that's the end of your shooting phase.
Some bolters that probably can...
Some bolters? Oh yeah, we'll do the bolters. 1 bolter came through, and I make that save as well. It's the end of the shooting phase.
It is.
Now you're charging.
Lackluster shooting
Contempt
phase.
to Dreadnought into him. Do I brace or do I overwatch? I don't think there's any point in overwatching. So I'm going to brace at leadership 10. And we do. That will stop one of the attacks coming through. Let's see how far you manage to charge. Low, please. 6. Are you within 6? It looks like 6. It is 6.
Yeah.
He makes the charge. And your initiative higher than me. So that's 3 attacks. And your better weapon skill. You're hitting on 3s.
Of course.
You missed twice. Wounding on a... Not that. You don't wound? What happened there? He thought he was going to go wheeling into the Thanatar, runs through the explosion and finds this little guy at his feet and sort of missed. He swung high, swung over his head. I'm striking you back on 5s, and it's mastercrafted, my Mechadendrite Hive. I am strength 6, so I'm wounding on 5s, and it shreds. So that's 2 wounds at AP2 into your Dreadnought. And I take a wound off. I won that combat, but the Dreadnought is fearless. On 5 wounds left, we're locked up. And talk about ongoing fights. Now we have the Iron Circle versus my Myrmidons, and I don't have a hatred anymore because it's the second round of combat. And he got 3 attacks with his big Hammer of Doom. And at weapon skill 4, he hits once. Wounds on a 2. I can't see it. That's a wound. It's brutal 2. And I take 2 wounds off. Now your Praetor fights on 3s. And you've got an extra attack as well with your hammer. He's got 4 base attacks. He's a Praetor. Yeah. And see, you forgot that dice, so it said no.
It said no.
2s to wound.
2 to wound.
And
1 wound.
Just 1 comes through at brutal 2, hammer. 1 Myrmidon is on 1 wound remaining, and then the servo arm.
5 hits.
And wounds. And I fail the save. You kill a Myrmidon, but I get to fight back at the same initiative. And I'm hitting on 5s with no hatred. And that was better than last time. Wounding on 4s. And I do 5 wounds at AP2. You got 2 on the Iron Circle, 2 on your Praetor. How do you want to do it?
Let's do 1 on my Praetor.
Okay, 4 up and bun.
Here we go.
He's down to 1 wound.
Of course.
You got 4 more wounds to save.
I'm going to do it on the...
Well, you've got to do them separately in case he dies.
Yeah, so on the Iron Circle.
Yes.
So 5 ups.
Yes. Down to 1 wound. Now it's dead. And 2 wounds on your Praetor. And 1 more to do on your Praetor.
1 more, okay.
And the Praetor gets taken out. And that is Slay the Warlord. Don't know what happened there. My Warlord was certainly dead, but somehow he's alive or locked up with that Contempt to Dreadnought. Meanwhile, your Warlord falls. And at the start of turn 5, I'm going to get another point, making it 5.
Yeah.
Points to 3 as we go on to turn 5, but I'm not sure if my Warlord is long for this world. So, yeah, I think it's anyone's game as we go on to turn 5. Quite simply, the Paragon of Metal has turned round, wants to try and rescue the Archmagos that made him, and the Myrmidons have moved over here to fire every single shot into your Master of Signals unit and the autocannons over there to save this team that are camped on this objective. So let's shoot them. You're shrouding. Here's the plasma. One of them gets hot and the wounds a dude. And you're returning fire instead. Yeah. And the other one shoots. All of these hit. All of these hit. We're wounding you on 2s, but 4s breach. So the Master of Signals needs to make a 5 up and vulnerable save. And he takes a wound. And then he needs to make 6 2-up saves with his Artificer armor, because the other 4 shots are burnt through that squad. And somehow the Master of Signals is holding in there on 1 wound remaining. and then you return fire into the myrmidons on 2s, and you roll 3 1s. And you wound.
I really bite my tongue
2s.
here.
And any breaches,
Nope,
anything? No,
not.
2 3-up saves. Well, you take a wound off. It's like when I returned fire with my Castellax over here, missed all the times. Anyway, that's the end of my shooting phase. He's got to take a leadership test, a leadership 9, or he runs off the battle grid. It would make sense that he'd run away, but no, he doesn't run away and endures. And then the Thanatar charges in to your Contemptor Dreadnought. Boom, we hit there. Hammer of Wrath wounds on a 2. A wound. Your Contemptor needs to make a 2-up save against that impact hit. And he's fine. And your Contemptor Dreadnought fights first.
Surprisingly, I'm going to go into the your Warlord.
3 attacks into Warlord on 3s. He hits twice. Wounds on 2s. Don't roll Snake Eyes.
Well,
That is 6 damage at strength 9. It won't double me out, but I need to make at least 5 out of 6 3-up and vulnerable saves. Cyber Familiar, hang firm. And I drop a wound. He's on 1 wound remaining. And then the Thanatar gets to hit you. He's got Rampage 2, but I'm not in base contact with more than 1 model. So it's just his base 4 attacks. And his weapon skill, because he's a Paragon, goes from 3 to 4. So I'm still hitting you on 5s.
Yep.
I hit 3 times. It's a strength 10 AP1 Graviton Ram with Armor Bane. So a wound on 2s, an Armor Bane, reroll that. And he's got to make 3 5+ and vulnerable saves. And he fails 2 of them. He's down to 3 wounds remaining. It's also concussive. He needs to pass a leadership test, a leadership 9 on a Dreadnought.
Yep.
He's not concussed. It's concussive 2. That would have dropped your weapon skill down and would have been easier to hit you, ringing him like a dinner bell. And then, on 3 wounds remaining, my Warlord with 5 attacks strikes out on 5s, Mastercraft A. And it's strength. You're not going to die. It's strength 6 with Shred. Doesn't do any wounds. And at the end of combat, I won.
Good.
We're locked up.
Yeah.
It's 5 points to 3. We go into Iron Warriors turn 5. This game could end on turn 5. 50-50 chance it goes on to turn 6. So over there, the Master of Signals have ran behind that thing. And in the middle, you move up with your second Contemptor, the Tyrant Siege Term, everyone looking at the fight. Warlord action. Meanwhile, after never failing a morale test, you keep failing a morale test.
That's 3 in a row.
Yeah, and they run away. They've been bombarded by plasma fire and they're out of here. Interestingly, you don't have a shooting phase.
I have no shooting phase.
I've only got 3 or 4 units that you could shoot at and they're all in close combat.
Oh, I don't.
So it's straight onto the fight phase. Trying to kill my Warlord? Trying to kill my... Oh yeah, make the charge.
Yeah.
So if you can make the charge, a nice big charge.
There you go.
8 or 9 or something. And that's a 10.
That's going to go in.
You're in. Okay. So Contemptor Dreadnought and Contemptor Dreadnought first. Let's do the one that charged the Thanatar first. He's got 4 attacks on the charge. He's hitting on 3s. He misses 1 of them. Strength 9, but it becomes strength 10. So you're wounding on 2s because you're Iron Warriors. And that is 9 brutal hits. Thanatars normally have a 7 wounds. He's got 8 because he's a Paragon of Metal. So I need 2 5s to stay alive. I only make 1. He runs him down, destroys my Thanatar, which blows up 1 inch. It'll hit your Dreadnought and the other Dreadnought. Wounds both of the Dreadnoughts. No, only wounds that one because it's
this one?
not that one. That one. And he's fine. And wounds my Warlord, and my Warlord needs a 2-up save, and it's fine. Okay, you just destroy the Paragon of Metal. I was looking forward to having Rampage and having extra attacks.
Oh.
But now it comes down to Contemptor number 2 fighting my Warlord on 3s. This time he hits twice.
Again.
Can he wound?
Oh,
he wounds
twice this time.
6 3-up and vulnerable saves. I need to make every single one or I lose my Warlord.
Wow.
I make every single one. I don't lose my Warlord. I don't know how that happened, but it happened.
This is what Heresy's all about, and
that was amazing.
It's just frustratingly,
swingy.
You want to literally bang your head through the wall. But
and that's why it's good.
That's why it's good. That's why I love it.
Explosions.
Even though I swear sometimes, excuse me, and I get, I still love it. It's still, it's like it's being tortured, but in a good way.
Yeah.
If there is such a thing.
Yeah, explosions, pinning, morale.
Everything's telling you a story. There's no re-rolls. It's just the dice are telling you this has got to happen.
I like the fact you're so dynamic, basically. Things happen. Warlord striking back against Contemptor on 5s. Master crafted. I'm not going to be able to kill it. I need 5s to wound with shred. I don't even wound it. He lost that combat. That was a multi-combat. And he holds. So Contemptor Dreadnought number 2 consolidates into combat on my Warlord on 1 wound remaining.
Yeah.
And the way the world could end.
The world could end. You just got to roll.
It's a 50. You want me to roll?
Yeah, definitely.
On a 4, we go on to turn 6.
Ooh.
We don't go on to turn 6. It was 5 points to 3. This is not the way Terra ends. We need to add up how many units you killed and how many units I killed. Because there's still a possibility of a draw. Because I got the Warlord, which is D3. Yeah. I could roll a 1. And if you killed more and you roll a 5 or 6, it's a draw.
It's a draw.
Right, we added it all up. I killed like 5 of yours.
Mm-hmm.
You killed 8 of mine.
Ooh.
So you killed more. So 5 points to 3.
Yeah.
I get D3 for Warlord, you get D3 for killing more. Who wants to roll first?
What makes it more dramatic, do you think?
I don't know.
Neither do I.
I don't know.
Should we roll at the same time?
We can roll at the same time.
Let's do it at the same time.
Okay, I'm rolling a blue dice.
I'm going to roll a red dice because they've been so great for me.
Basically, if I don't roll a 1 or 2, I've won.
Okay, ready?
Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go. I don't roll a 1 or 2. I get 3 points. You get 3 points. It is a victory for the Loyalists in the reactor room down below Gorgon Bar. The Void Shields will hold for 1 more minute, 1 more hour, 1 more day. Terra stands. How you feeling?
I'm feeling like I've been abused. I haven't been abused. I've had a great game. I'm exhausted, to be fair.
Yeah.
It's been an emotional rollercoaster, I would say.
It's good, isn't it?
It's fantastic. You don't get it at 40k.
Yeah.
You don't get this level of engrossment and where so much depends on
dynamism.
Yeah.
Things happen. I must say that I was terrified of the Iron Circle and both your Contemptor Dreadnoughts. And if it was me, I would have ran the Contemptor Dreadnoughts forward as quickly as possible.
More games than me, so
yes,
you know what to do,
because they're hard to kill. Along with the Iron Circle pushing forward would be hard to kill. That would be a lot. I mean, the Tyrant Siege Terminators turned out they were hard to kill.
Yeah, they held their weight, to be fair. They were the MVPs for me.
Kratos turned out it was hard to kill. Took me 4 turns to take that thing down. What in particular stood out for you for the Mechanicum?
What, as in the blast pie plates?
The pie
plates on lots of infantry bunched up is sweet as.
Those Thanatars.
They are good, yeah. They needed to get rid of them ASAP, but they're tough old birds.
Do you know what would ally really well with like some plastic Mechanicum?
Iron Warriors?
Iron Warriors would ally really well with them, wouldn't they?
Very thematic.
It would be very thematic. A couple of Thanatars.
It's a good job there's a plastic one's coming out.
It's a good job there is a plastic, yeah. Iron Warriors, what are you adding to them next?
Oh, so I have got this. I would say this is not an optimized Iron Warriors list. This was just like, quickly 5 weeks. Let's put together a 4. See what I can scrounge off of eBay. And other things. Yeah. So I put this together. So I probably take away the Kratos and probably add 2 Sicarans and probably Predator. Yeah. Because then you play more into their Legion.
Because you never count a shaken, right?
Exactly.
So you're never snap firing when you get shaken, unless you get shock pulsed, which is a pain.
Which is great.
A couple of unit predators running around can be quite devastating. Sicaran's particular builds of them can be quite devastating, and it would feel you need more troops. You need more stuff that scores.
The troops in my list are I would put 3 10-mans in rhinos. Yeah. Just so that they've got something that they can drive up the board. And
I wouldn't have 3 rhinos. I mean, having 3 10-man squads and 2 rhinos and just 1 unit walking on or 1 unit move blocking. Another thing that would work in Iron Warriors is like a 10-man unit of snipers. Yeah. So you could have 3 10-man squads and some sniper teams in the backfield sitting on an objective somewhere. Yeah. That would feel very thematic.
But I've got lots of ways to go with it. That's the thing.
Yeah.
You know, so it's something that I want. These are the only models I've got painted for Iron Warriors at the moment. So I've got a lot to expand on. There's lots of cool stuff I want to put in the list. So.
Yeah. I think minimum 4 line units when you're playing Heresy.
Okay.
Is that probably the way to go? Because once you lost a couple over here, it was difficult for you to score.
Yeah, but a lot of it I was losing them because they weren't in rhinos. I mean, the one that was in the rhino took a little bit more to remove.
Yeah.
So I think having some form of protection with them is great. I mean, Artificer armor is great if you can roll Artificer armor saves, which I couldn't do today.
No.
To be fair, I couldn't even hit a cow's ass with a shovel with the dreadnoughts. But,
well, I mean, your dreadnoughts in the end don't kill my warlord.
No,
there is a
exactly. Yeah.
flash of a teleport Homer, and he's like, "Yeah, we're fine. We get out of here."
Yeah.
And what he really did in this place was sow some napalm charges all over the place. And just as you think you're about to kill my warlord, there's a flash, they disappear, and then we detonate this place anyway. We lured you into a trap.
There's a trap.
The Iron Warriors are dead. We hope you enjoyed that battle report. Happy wargaming.